Hello everybody, it's your old pal Tuna here and welcome back to another video. Today it is extremely hot out, I have a cold, and we are doing our best. Keeping things simple this week, we are going to do a fun little test of a bunch of products that I have purchased off of Amazon Japan. Now, if you don't know, you can purchase stuff from Amazon Japan, I don't want to say worldwide, but from a lot of different places that you might be right now. For example, I am here in Canada. I am able to order a large number of items from Amazon Japan. When I was living in Ireland, it was the same deal. So I know when I discovered this, I got extremely excited. One of my favorite things to buy from Amazon Japan is art books. So I have a bit of a collection of those now. And the other thing is art supplies. So the stuff that I'm going to show you here today, I did not buy all at once, but I will admit I haven't used any of them. I am a certified art supply hoarder, but it is my goal for 2023, starting now, to get through some of my haul and give everything a little bit of a try. So great opportunity here. Let's get right into it. The first thing that I want to show you today is these Tombow colored pencils. Now this is brand new, unopened. I received them today, so they are technically brand new, spankin' fresh and clean. I have been using lately this set of 12 colored pencils that are, I assume, exactly the same type of colored pencil that I purchased in a stationery supply store in Montreal, Canada while I was on holiday. And when I saw that there was a 36 set and it comes with this super cute little roll up, you know, I thought, let's treat ourselves here. Now, this is probably a good time to also mention this is not in any way sponsored. I paid for all of these with my hard-earned money. And regardless of how you feel about Amazon, I love being able to access these imported goods without having to pay an incredible markup price. So this package was 3,300 yen, which is $24.20 US. Really cute. I love how compact this is. It's very lightweight. I think that this makes a great set for taking with you to do sketching in person or plein air, something like that. It also comes with this complimentary pencil sharpener, which I'm excited to try because pencil sharpeners and I have a love-hate relationship. When I find one that I like, I stick with it. Very cute. All right, let's take a look at these beauties. Look at how beautiful these are. I've been really enjoying using this 12 color set because the limitation in the colors makes me make interesting choices because I'm substituting sometimes hue for value. So if I need like a dark pink and all I have is purple, I'll use the purple instead, kind of end up with some interesting results. But now I have a little bit more of a spectrum, not to say that I don't have a bunch of Prismacolor pencils in pencil cases behind me on my art trolley, but they aren't in a cute little roll-up case like this, So next up, I want to show you something that's brand new to me actually. These are oil style pastels, but they are children's oil style pastels. So that means that these were 538 yen, which is just shy of $4 US. The packaging is so cute, and if I'm being perfectly honest with you here, it's like half the reason that I bought it. And I figured I'd introduce a little chaos texture into my life. But I really love the selection, and it goes against everything that I usually try to achieve with my work, which is really like flat, rich, graphic style stuff. This is going to be uncontrollable, and I look forward to giving it a little cheeky little try. Next up is something a little bit simple. This is a Kuretake brush pen that is filled with white ink. I've used these before with the black ink, and I've historically had a lot of trouble with them. I think it's because I'm a dum-dum, but a lot of people swear by these. When I saw that they made one in white, I thought it might come in handy for finishing off traditional illustrations. And at 537 yen, or just shy of $4, I figured I would take the plunge and give it a try. I have had this for a while, and I haven't used it at all, so we're gonna give it a go together here today. We are moving into the paint section of the video. I have just a few more things I want to introduce before we get going on trying everything out. These are brushes. Surprise. These are 3 different flat brushes. The brand is Nemara Tokyo, and the 3 different sizes I have here are 4, 0, and 9. The largest one came in at 1,540 yen, which is $11.30 US, and these 2 came in at 715 and 770 yen, making them between $5 and $6 a piece. These are pretty standard prices for brushes. I honestly just think that these looked nice, and I like the clear handle, and I wanted a bunch of more flat brushes. I do feel like you could find something similar domestically, but you know, if you're buying some stuff from Amazon Japan, the thing is you have to pay quite a bit in shipping, and then there's also import fees to account for. So you kind of have to balance out your basket to kind of get the lowest shipping for the highest amount of items. It does ultimately end up being maybe 30 to 50% on top of the price in those shipping and import fees. So that is something to keep in mind. These are not a steal. Usually going to end up being cheaper than buying them from a domestic seller. I'm really looking forward to giving these a try. I can't wait. So what we're going to do with these is we are going to try out some acrylic gouache. If you've been around on my channel, you might know that acrylic gouache is my material of choice. And so some time ago, I picked up these two sets of discount acrylic gouache. Now by discount, I mean discount. If you've worked with Holbein acrylic gouache at this point, you know that those puppies are like $10 to $12 per tube of paint. And I am excited to tell you that both of these sets come in for under 12 US dollars. The Sakura set, 1,145 yen, which is $8.40, and the Liquitex at 1,500 yen, which is 11 US dollars. Both of these sets come with 12 tubes of paint. And the reason that I picked up both is, as you can tell, the colors inside are quite different. I'm looking forward to experimenting more with not only the texture of the paint, but also the availability of the colors that are in each set. Full disclosure, I have swatched these previously when I got them because I was very excited and I wanted to test them out, but I haven't done any full painting with them, so I haven't really gotten to know them, you know, like you would your art supplies. So that's it. That's what we're going to test out today. We're going to make a painting with all of these, and I'm going to let you know how I feel about each material when we are done.
Oh man, we really are getting right into it. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just testing out the materials before I actually do like a full illustration, swatching out a handful of the colors of the colored pencils, testing out some of the oil pastels, and then I'm going to do a little color swatch of some of the gouache. Also, I really didn't feel the need to do every single color because I just thought that that would be overkill. I really wanted to just sort of get a feel for everything. First of all, love the oil pastels. I don't love how it comes off on my hand, unfortunately, so I was gesturing to that there. So it goes. And for the gouache here, from both sets, I ended up choosing 5 colors that I felt were kind of similar. As I mentioned, each set has totally different colors, so I got the closest match that I can. And the thing about these is that most of them are very transparent. Now the thing about acrylic gouache is that you can have them be very opaque, and that's kind of my favorite thing about them. So when you're mixing the colors up to use to paint, you're gonna have to add white into these colors in order to create that opaqueness that is so desired. This first set on the top, this is the Sakura set, and the column on the left is like full thickness. The column on the right is just watered down a little bit more. And then now I'm starting with the Liquitex. And the thing about the Liquitex, which I found really unusual, is it seems to be designed that you don't really need to mix water into it. Like as it comes out of the tube, it's sort of the texture that it needs to be quite smooth. That's still kind of a matter of preference, but I was feeling like I was getting that from it. And that's kind of a choice. Maybe I prefer it thicker personally, but this is always fun to try. Frankly, if you ask me, I think these are both really equivalent to each other. I wasn't really noticing much of a difference. And you can see on the left there, I actually swatched the Holbein and the Turner Acrylic gouache that I also had just to compare. And I mean, I don't know, like I would have to do a lot more experimenting, let's be real. But anyway, I'm getting into my illustration here. I did my sketch on the testing, and this is on Strathmore Bristol vellum surface paper. Love this stuff for pretty much all kinds of mediums. And my sketch is done in a Pilot Color Eno pencil, colored erasable pencil, crayon, mechanical pencil thing. Started off with the colored pencils because I knew that I'd be the most comfortable with that, and I did like a really simple sketch before doing this just to kind of be like, okay, is this what I'm gonna do, this patchwork color thing? And then I went in and just kind of gave it a go. I had a wider range of colors to choose from originally, but I whittled it down to like, I want to say it was like 6. There was like 3 blues, a pink, and 2 purples. And my preferred method for using colored pencils is to press super hard and not like have that texture show through. I really like how creamy and blendy this brand and just sort of colored pencils in general can get. So I just went back and forth filling in little patches until I felt like it looked good, doubling back. You can create some really nice textures. No, it's the opposite of texture. You can create some really nice layers by layering colors on top of each other, and depending on which order you layer them in, you kind of end up with different colors. So I don't know, definitely like play around with these a lot. I don't think this is like the quote right way to use them, as if there is a right way to use them, but I really enjoy pressing really hard and scribbling. It's very satisfying to do. I was also testing out the pencil sharpener with these, which I love. I mean, obviously it's literally designed to be used with these colored pencils, so I probably should have expected the best, but I am delighted. There are 2 holes. That's what she said, but I only used one. And I do find with the amount of hard pressing that I do, I need to resharpen them quite a bit to kind of like get the sort of edge that I like, but that's just the way she goes with colored pencils, you know? I think it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but this picture kind of has 3 elements to it. There's the cat, there is the plant fronds that have been knocked over, and the plant pot, and then there's dirt. And I had already planned out before I started doing the illustration that the cat would be in colored pencil, the plant and pot would be in gouache, and the dirt would be in pastel, because I thought, well, let's lean into that texture in the natural way that it's meant to be. At this point, it also kind of occurred to me that these flat sort of purple eyes weren't gonna work 100%, but I wanted to come back to it later and figure out how I wanted to highlight them to kind of bring out a little bit more soul, because they're looking kind of dead inside, which is sort of maybe the joke of the painting, but I wanted it to be like a focal point. So I'm going to come back with some more. Okay, so I thought I had a clip of me doing the pastel there. I didn't, so just imagine that I smooshed on pastel. I think it was orange, brown, and yellow that I used for those. And in between the swatch page and doing this, I did a small amount of testing. It was really messy just to see how these materials were going to layer with each other, so that if I like wanted to put pastel on top of gouache, or in this case gouache on top of pastel, how that was going to work out. Really simple test, not worth sharing because this was the main test, honestly. With the gouache here, I've done exactly what I described, which is mix the white with the colors that were available to me. I prefer pastel tones anyway, so it's no trouble for me to mix white in with those paints. And yeah, I realized pretty quickly, oh yeah, this is the same material that I know and love. I did feel like I was having some difficulty getting it to be thick and opaque with one layer, which isn't unheard of even with some of my fancier gouache, but I don't know, like, I'm not going to take points off for the fact that it couldn't do that, but would I prefer it if it could go on a little bit thicker naturally? Sure. Also, I did end up going with just the Sakura Acrylic gouache for this, mostly just because I only needed a handful of colors and it just made more sense to stick with one brand. I had also done some tests and realized that the white in the Sakura set is this beautiful, thick, creamy white that just pops on, super opaque. It's really nice, but the white in the Liquitex set is way more transparent. It calls itself titanium white, but that's the one that I usually use for my Holbein, and I find that it is very opaque, so I'm not really sure what the story is there. That was the main reason why I ended up going with the Sakura, and I don't know, I'm just like, even though the colors are very similar, I'm just partial to the packaging on the Sakura one. I'm a sucker for a alluring box. I was really happy with the gouache's ability to layer, and so once that was all down, I decided to start picking a little bit here and there, adding some colored pencil, kind of bringing the whole thing together. Here you're going to see me use the brush pen, the white brush pen. It's the only instance that I used it in the painting, and it worked perfectly. It got those whiskers on. They're bold as day. And it did comfortably layer on top of every material that I had tested on my test sheet. I'm going in with the colored pencil on top of the gouache. This is classic. I've used this before and it delivered quite easily. I did also use it on top of the pastel, which was like also fairly effective. You can see kind of in the roots that are sticking out there. That's what I did. And then I started to feel like the composition was boring. I started adding paw prints everywhere, and I don't know, I kind of lost the script at this point and decided to just kind of continue to experiment. Oh, here I am. That's just demonstrating how thick that white gouache is. Like, I actually love it so much. It might be one of the best, most opaque white gouaches that I have now in my arsenal. And you can see me taking a few moments here to kind of look at the painting, like think about the painting, get to know the painting. And at this point, I'm like, I gotta bring the colors of the cat into the rest of the painting, because it wasn't my intention for the cat to kind of be like this tie-dye teddy bear and then the plant to be kind of more these realistic colors. So I just started adding in some of that nice blue as a drop shadow, and it did complement naturally everything that I already had going on. But I think that's kind of it in terms of like critiquing the materials. I really enjoyed every material. I think I could find a use for all of these in my daily practice. Maybe I don't like need as many colors of gouache as I have at this point, but we'll see. Perhaps I can pass those on to someone who wants to get to know the material. But yeah, going in with a little bit of pastel just to bring it all together. I kind of like it as a finisher. I think I'm going to keep that in my arsenal as a little texturizer for the ends and details of my paintings. But yeah, let's take it on over to the other tuna.
And that's that. I'm just gonna wrap this up here with a few final thoughts on these materials and like whether I recommend them or not. I'll start off by saying that my favorite of everything that I've played with here is the colored pencils from Tombow. I already knew that that would be the case though, because I really like them. And I've used them before, but not in this wider color range, which I'm loving. And I think that the pastels are gonna need more time to play with. It's just not something that I'm used to, having like such a lack of control, but the payoff is really interesting. I'm looking forward to playing with them more. Again, literally less than $5. So if you just want something different to try, you can't miss out. And if I had to suggest to you one set over the other when it comes to this acrylic gouache, I'm gonna say go for the Sakura set. And the main reason is because of how fantastic that white is. It's so opaque, and to be honest with you, that is why gouache is so great. And the fact that these are colors that are more on like the transparent side, that's fine as long as you have a really rich white to blend them with, so you can get your sweet layers on. Oh, we're out of focus? Wow, do we see a ghost in the background? That's not horrifying. Oh, come on, autofocus. Clearly my face is over here. I hope you enjoyed watching me put this painting together. It's like similar to what I usually do, but a little bit different, which was, you know, I suppose the point. If you want to leave me a comment and tell me like what sort of art supply I should try out next, I definitely won't use it as an excuse to buy more art supplies that I will use sparingly. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, this is part of my use my art supplies arc. This is the beginning. And I hope you'll join me next time for more experimentation, but next week's gonna be a vlog. Don't worry, vlogs are not disappearing from this channel. They will still be the bread and butter. But I do hope that you enjoy these kind of more playful making art type videos, because that's kind of my thing, making art. That's that thing that I do. Stay sparkly, my friends. Don't let the cruel world dull your shine. I will see you next time. Bye, bye.